I've been writing an impossible piece of music for months, and now to finish the piece, I sent it to Tantacrul, who I know can make it way more impossible than I ever dreamed.
I'm going to now listen to what Ben has already written, and the brief he's given me is, here's something that's impossible to play. I want you to write an ending for this impossible music, and I'm now going to try and do that. So let's listen to what he's got so far. Lots of tuplets, an insane amount of rests. Bass player's got some crazy strings. I mean, right, if you want them to play this perfectly, yeah, sure, it's impossible. Okay, we have beautiful 4-string pizzicato on the violin. I like that. I like that you've kept it to just 4. You've like kept it within the realms of possibility. If you'd put like 7 notes, that would have been more impossible. Actually, let's just stop this. Let's add a couple more notes, shall we? That's right. Okay, now that's impossible. That's a preferred type of impossible as far as I'm concerned. But I think we can take this to new realms of impossibility. That's what I'm going to try and do. Yes, sorry. Damn. I love all the tuplets, the insanely unnecessarily complicated offbeat patterns within tuplets. And that pizzicato is just inspired. I love the idea that a violin could sound like that. Blast beat there. I also like the way you've not done tempo changes, you've just done everything within tuplets. So we're here, this is where Ben leaves off and I take over. So, first of all, I thought it'd be nice to change the pace a little bit. So first off, I've changed it to 7/8, and within 7/8, I've told the piano player in particular that he needs to play strict tempo, non-rubato. He must be absolutely dead on. And to help him with that, I've given him some oxy-demi-semi-quavers, I think they're called. Let's have a look. That's just demi-semi-quaver. Where's the good stuff? I would like to open my toolbar so I can add a beautiful oxy-hexy-demi-semi-quaver to my bar. Oh, why won't you let me do this? They got buttons that are all invisible. They got more buttons that are all invisible. Ben, help me. Oh, lordy. This is gonna be pear-shaped. Let's go to Jickas. Oh, yes, this is my one. Oh, okay. It's not great. Not that great. Now, you might be wondering why I have a crazy version of MuseScore that no one else has. It's a secret. It's just mine, just for me. But you will all see it soon enough. Trust me. Okay, got that working. Now, quasi-hemi-demi-semi-quavers. Right, and as you can see with the quasi-hemi-demi-semi-quavers, they'll need a little bit of practice to get this right. I've also put in some rests because it needs to be very strict. They need to make sure that quasi-hemi-demi-semi-quaver rest is exactly there, and it needs to be absolutely perfect. So, now you can't quite hear it when I play all the instruments. Listen to the piano hit those quasi-hemi-demi-quavers. Yeah. I just thought that if you are going to give them quasi-hemi-demi-semi-quavers, it would be good to split as far in the register as humanly possible, because so they'll, they have to feel like an octopus. I thought that was a particularly beautifully impossible thing to try and achieve. So you can see here that the right hand is descending down into the left hand. That's not because the left hand needs to play those. That's just the right hand part overlaying the left hand. So it's like an extra challenge. So the left hand player still needs to play these crotchets, or rather quarter notes, and needs to sort of clear those other ones out of the way, so that, as I said, it's an extra challenge. Let's see if they can do it. If any pianist would like to try this out, I will happily get on Skype and watch you attempting it. It would be very good to see. A couple of other things I've done. As you can see, a bar gets extremely long when you fill it with quasi-hemi, semi-demi quavers. It gets, in fact, so long it's extremely hard to figure out when you zoom in what part of the bar you're actually in. So there's an element of just guesswork when it comes to figuring out what the other instruments should be doing. So I would say that the piano is providing almost like white noise in the background for the other instruments to try and play alongside. So I think performance directions are very important. You know, you can take a stem in MuseScore and you can just stretch it right up there, and that's it. And I thought that was nice. I thought that might make for some interesting printed music. The left hand stretches up over and past the right hand, and only that way can the bass player see what the actual note value is. I've also said to them, the performance direction, note the stem, and then I added the word cell research just to add an extra little bit of confusion. But I think performance directions are another like avenue of impossibility that we can perhaps take advantage of. For example, obviously I've said strict tempo, non-rubato, and I like to repeat that over and over again in case at any moment the piano player feels like they're like, I want them to basically feel like they're in prison. I actually also like that text placement. I think it's nice when the text is intersecting with the bar, makes it an extra challenge for the player to be able to read it. Let's just add lots of nonsense in this particular one, and let's also... Oh, I can't break it down to another line, but I do like the fact that I can just keep going. Oh, there we go. So no player will really know what it is they're supposed to do, and I think, again, just it just makes for some better music. Now, MuseScore's not particularly liked what I just did. It's a bit upset. Oh, that's a right pity. Oh, MuseScore is very unhappy with me. I wonder, is there any way I could possibly not have MuseScore crash on me right now? Come on, Musey. I've done MuseScore a mischief. Oh, there we go. Oh, hold on. No, it's back. Well done, MuseScore. I also think we should just do some general bar stretching, and that way then the musicians can know that the other musicians' music is also being played. They can get a sense of what the other musicians are doing, or at least get a very abstract sense, because for each player you just see a diagonal line, and it'll make him ask some interesting questions that will probably result in some better music. Let's stretch down this quarter note here. Let's stretch it all the way down. Let's keep going. Let's see how far we can go, actually. We can go pretty far, I think. Oh, G. Gee whiz. Thank you, MuseScore. I've now stretched it off into infinity, and I think that's worthwhile. If we take this time signature, I think we'll just move this time signature above the triplet here. Hold on. Probably the tuplet, rather, excuse me. You can also see here I've got another time signature midway through 2 quavers. I've mixed around some impossible notes that can't be played by the instrument. I think that also helps quite a lot. Let's also stretch this beam up. The black beams can stretch. They can stretch really high. I think these should also stretch off into infinity, and now you can't tell whether or not these are actually semiquavers or not, or quavers, or whatever they were. I don't remember anymore. Shout out to the zoom feature in MuseScore. This zoom feature is super responsive. Okay, here we go. I've also put an instruction here, play it like A. It's nice and ambiguous. Play it like A, even though there's no actual A there. So I do also quite like the idea that MuseScore is really struggling with this particular part. As it continues, MuseScore begins to get a bit upset. So I think what would be great here, what would be a really excellent and wise idea, would be to continuously do that for all the instruments, because I think the best way for this to end is if MuseScore crashes. Cool. Copy. And I think I'll pop it in every other instrument at the same time to get a beautiful black cacophony of nonsense. There we go. I'm on boyo. Now, I'm very curious to know whether MuseScore can deal with this. I think we should save. If we take a nice run up to it, can MuseScore handle this? It manages it. It actually did it. Well done, MuseScore. That's impressive. I think a piano player could take a stab at this. They could look at it and kind of go, those are notes. I could play those notes. I think we should perhaps try obscuring those notes with some other notes. So if I go to Google, and if we go to images, well, let's take this one first of all, and let's save this. We have some music. Now, you might think to yourself, oh, well, that's kind of crap. All you've done is just put an image over the other music, and that's true, and that is a bit mean. I think you should be able to see both types of music so you can make the decision regarding which one you actually want to play. or you could play both. So we have this beautiful option in MuseScore called stacking order. Now, you could be forgiven to be part of the 100% of people who have no idea what this does. Stacking order actually means, because it says helpfully Z there, that it's sort of spatial depth, but in three-dimensional space. It's on the Z-axis. So this means you can actually place stuff behind. Why they don't just use the term arrange to back is beyond me, but anyway, let's just change it to 0. Hey, and now you can see at the bottom of the stacking order is that music, and that adds an extra level of cheery complexity for the piano player. And I think they'll especially be interested in those lovely checkerboard transparency patterns, which I think just help in every single way. I think we should do a couple more of these. Let's save some more music. Oh, I like the look of this one. Let's save that guy. And I'd like an image of some tigers. That'll do. Ben Levin. That's not you. Whoa. Nice. There you go, Ben. Oh, wow, look at Ben. That yellow jacket. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's just use that. Hey, Ben, there's another guy called Ben Levin who looks very different to you. He does look like a slightly more powerful Ben Levin than you, I'm afraid. MuseScore is kind of going, no, this particular image, this can't intersect the music. I won't allow this. And what's it doing? It's just stretching this out. It's just, every time I try to move it over to the left, it just gets a little bit wider. It's just been really coy with me. There we go. We got Ben in the background there. Let's just make sure that he's behind a lot of players all at the same time, and let's make him gigantic. Yeah. Now the people who are playing will be able to be inspired by Ben Levin as they try to negotiate their piece. Negotiate their music, I meant to say. That actually looks really cool. Can we just take a moment to appreciate quite how different that looks? I think that's wonderful. I think we should pop in some more of those images. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's been all coy with me again. Okay, in this one instance, I think it is good to just actually completely block the music. It inspires the musicians to use their imagination a bit more, but it's strict tempo. They have to play exactly what's on the score. In fact, we should actually say that right at the very beginning. Play exactly what's on the score, you twat. I don't like calling people twats. We've a nice word in Ireland I like to use, gobshite. Oh, can we just stretch that out a little further? Yay! Let's move that on out. Actually, I want to put one more performance direction in here. Ben Levin. I'm going to spell it wrong. Ben Levin's bread. It's like a palindrome, but it's not a palindrome. I like that performance direction. I think that's very specific. I think this is a really, really wonderful thing we're looking at here. And I like the way the description is going all the way through the page, and that's just fantastic. And this is just a thing of beauty. Look at that. An entire bar going through another bar, so it's doubling in upon itself. We are now in impossible land, ladies and gentlemen. This is what impossibility looks like. This should be printed exactly like this, handed to the musicians. Look at this cacophony, this beautiful cacophony. And I love the way things keep disappearing. It keeps moving out of the way. It's like it's embarrassed by itself. And don't be embarrassed. You are a thing of beauty, MuseScore. Oh, and isn't that just wonderful? Look at this. I mean, it keeps disappearing and reappearing. And then for the coup de grace, look at this baby. And it just stops. The music just stops. MuseScore goes, that's it. Without any further ado, let's listen to Extreme Spaghetti Friend with the performance direction. Play exactly what's on the score, you gobshite. Right, here we go. that's what you want. Oh my god, look, the blue line has gone off the bloody page. Okay, there we go. That's it. That is impossible music made doubly, trebly, quadruply, quasi-hemi, demi-semi, quaverly impossible by me, Tantacrul. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ben Levin. All the best.